here's what would up sales for HBO subscriptions is if you're like, hey, let's watch Game of Thrones, but only Tyrion Lannister. It would be just like the compilation videos that I love to watch that have millions of views.
Yes.
Best of Tyrion Lannister.
Absolutely.
It would be exactly like that, but HBO could be profiting on my views. They're not right
man.
now.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, hey, I don't know if they like money or not, but... Welcome back to the Free Play Podcast. Once again, my name is Bubba, joined with Matt and Kate. We are a couple of the co-founders and the hosts of this here, the Free Play Podcast. And today we are talking about Kaleidoscope, which is a bonkers way to watch a TV show,
anything
on Netflix, like really any platform. So, Kate, give us a lowdown on Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, so first of all, this topic idea came from Bubba, who had been watching it. He thought it'd be fun.
Bubba.
This whole thing?
To see the
This
differences in all three of us watching it and the different watch orders, which I'll get to right now. So, in case you've never heard anything about the show, Kaleidoscope is Netflix's non-linear streaming experience where basically you can watch the episodes in any order that you want, and the story makes sense no matter how you watch it, although everyone would experience it slightly differently. The first episode and the last episode are the same for everybody. But then
the first episode is not really an episode, you know?
No, it's not. It's like 2 minutes, isn't it? And it's
like
kind
a
of
primer.
a primer. Yeah.
It just tells you, hey, everybody is watching in a different order. That's basically what it is.
So it doesn't really.
No story whatsoever. Just.
So it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't really count as an episode, but all the actual episodes in between the first and the last are randomized. I read based on location.
Oh.
So I didn't. They didn't really elaborate more on that. Like, is it based on country? Is it based on
interesting?
Is it based on like time zone states? I don't know how exactly they divided that randomized order up, but there are 5,000 different combinations.
Really?
Of how you could watch this show. I didn't do the math on that, so maybe it's wrong.
Dude, math is bonkers.
I trusted another source because I don't know how to do that kind of math.
No,
Yeah,
I believe that. It seems like a lot of. I mean, there are 8 episodes? 1, 2, 3.
Well, you can do the math.
5,
I'll keep
6,
talking.
7. There'll be seven episodes that can be rearranged, anyways.
When you think about that, like real quick, like a deck of cards, 52 cards. The math on that is that no deck has ever been the same.
Yeah.
Like that's like it shuffled. It's never been the same. It's just like a mathematical impossibility.
And that's 5,000 if you keep like the black episode and white episode first and last. That's only randomizing the middle. So if you decided you didn't want to watch the white episode last, then it opens it up to even more ways that you could combine everything. Although it is highly recommended that the white episode is last, and
Understandably so.
I agree with that.
I agree. So in case you're wondering, what is the story of this show? Is the story that the episodes are random? No, it is not. The story is it's a story about a heist, and I don't know if you knew this either, but it's inspired by true events.
I did not know that.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Look at Kate doing research over here. Jeez.
All these episodes span a time frame of 25 years. So each episode takes place at a different time in the timeline of the story of the heist, where these guys, basically a master thief, who's the guy that owns the chicken restaurant in Breaking Bad, they tried to do this
I was
heist.
going to say Moff Gideon.
Oh, does he?
He owns a chicken restaurant there too.
I haven't seen Mandalorian. That's how I don't know. But so they're trying to get this heist that in the end will result in them having $7 billion, which is a pretty good deal.
Well, I would say so, yeah.
Well,
so that's what this story is. And the episodes kind of place, like one is 24 years before the heist, one is 7 years before, 5 weeks before, 5 days before the heist itself, the morning after, and 6 months after.
Yeah.
So the timeline, it's a set timeline. Things are occurring on these set dates within this kind of story universe. And I think that plays to the strength of you being able to watch it in any kind of random order, because there contained stories that contribute to the bigger plot.
Yes. It's genius. Like to me, like this is another movement. This is another direction for cinema, and it has gone over well, right? Like there's not been, I don't want to say there's been nobody, but like as far as reviews and stuff like that goes, it's been overwhelmingly positive about Kaleidoscope. And because I think it changes the game a little bit. The ability, and this is difficult, right? The ability to not just write a long story, right? Like that's how almost everything is. Okay, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But to be able to experience that story at any point and give you fresh information that then will go back and reinform another thing that you've seen, and you're like, oh, that's why that person was acting like that around this person. You know, I know that whenever and again, we're going to try and dance around this without kind of spoiling anything, basically, but whenever one of the main characters, you learn that person is not that person, that was like mind-blowing for me, because like that's the whole reason any of this is happening in the first place, is because this person is not who they say they are. And then they take that further, because almost nobody in this show is who they say they are. And so that that continual like regenerative process of, man, I wish I could just learn what would it be like to play that game for the first time again. You get that every single episode.
I think that was what made this story special, was it's more a character study than it is about a heist. Like a heist is occurring, and that's what's bringing these people together. But what makes it so that you can watch it in any order is the way the characters' particular stories are told, and how it's kind of jumping around in people's lives at different times. It makes sense.
I think back to, and we've talked about this before, but like, and I don't remember, did you guys play Quantum Break? Okay, you don't have an Xbox.
I didn't play Quantum Break, but I watched PewDiePie play through it.
Well, it's on Switch now.
Oh.
Is it really?
I thought so. Oh, no, maybe that's the other one.
Oh, you're thinking of Alan Wake.
No.
They're in the same universe.
You're thinking of Alan Wake.
No.
No.
Well, so Quantum Break, the reason I'm so confused is because it's like a Microsoft property. It was made by like Microsoft Studios. And so, but anyway, like that game, as you were playing along, depending on what you were doing in the game, you would watch different cutscenes, and they were live action cutscenes. And so it was great. Like it was absolutely fantastic. And I said back then, man, this is going to change the game. Like, not, pun intended, but like this is going to change the way that we experience things. And then it must have been so difficult to do that nobody ever did it again. And it bummed me out. But it gave way to things, I believe, like Bandersnatch, right? Like people were looking at different ways to consume content and kind of giving you choice, giving you a little bit of agency in the way that you
choose your own adventure.
Absolutely. And then, so, I mean, kind of holistically thinking about this stuff, then we got those choose your own adventure games, Matt. What was it?
House of Danger.
House of Danger, and then there was another one that I didn't play.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed House of Danger. Like I played that, I played it all the way through, and not a lot of people actually finished the game, but I played it all the way through because I liked it so much. I have a similar feeling about Kaleidoscope. I'm like, you know what? I don't want Kaleidoscope season 2. I'm not interested in that. No, thank you. I feel like I got a pretty good rap on it.
I mean, it could be the same style of show, maybe not the same people.
But I like the setup of it. Like I would watch another show that could do that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. By the way, the game on Switch I was thinking of was Control.
Oh, Control, which is also in the same universe.
Yes. Thank you, Agent Nomak, for fact checking me. need help.
So okay, let's go back. Matt, what was your watch order?
Well, I'm so glad you asked.
Originally, what was your watch
Okay,
order originally?
my like what it should have been. So when I didn't, let's just say either I didn't read very well the things you were saying to me, or I just misunderstood. And I guess when I read it is you could watch it in any order, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna watch it in whatever order I want to watch it in. And so my original Netflix recommended viewing order, according to what they gave me, was black, and then yellow, green, violet, blue, orange, red, pink, white.
That's mine.
That's yours too?
That's mine.
Okay. Well,
but you didn't watch it like that.
I didn't watch it like that. Because I did yellow, red. Oh, how did this? I basically was trying. I messed up, and I was gonna try to do Roy G. Biv, but then I was like, I already messed up. I went yellow, orange.
That's the some kind of way to watch it, like the chronological or not chronological.
Is it? I wasn't paying
You
attention.
say that's like the way to watch it is Roy G. Biv.
Well, when I first, I guess, started watching it, like they didn't have like yellow 6 weeks before the heist. It was like just yellow, green. Like they didn't have the extra title on there.
Oh, and that's why the show is called Kaleidoscope also, is because each of the episodes isn't episode 1, 2, 3, 4. They all have different titles of colors, so there's no real way to know which one is.
And I have not seen, and I looked, and I might be stupid, which is very plausible, but I can't find a thing that like that color is linked to that episode because
of
something.
any rhyme or there was
imagine.
No, I think about it's pink.
Some of them that I noticed that it would end, well, not really with a plot thing, but it would end with like something blue, and then it would say, "Oh, the blue
like
episode."
it does a zoom.
Very superficial ties.
Yeah.
Not anything like plot tied to the color, I don't think.
Well, I guess maybe red. Maybe red would also be.
There's probably more than we think.
I'm sure there is. We only have so much brain power.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
But it's like it's super interesting. It's really fascinating. And I absolutely loved the character development in the show. Like you'd be following a character, and then you're ready for the next thing. And this always happens to me when I'm watching a show, period, right? Like I'm like, hey, okay, I'm locked into that storyline, and then the next episode hits, and it's something completely weird and whack. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I'm always really mad about it. I'm like, you've got me going on that storyline.
Doing, please
do that. But this one, for whatever reason, it does the same thing, right? But I'm ready for it because it's set the precedent that, hey, this is going to happen. Like Game of Thrones leaves me on a cliffhanger and then comes back to a completely different storyline. Like I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. But here, I thought it was great. Like I loved it because it just opened up another piece of the puzzle. But I don't know, for them to be able to like tell very succinct stories, because you really only have one episode to tell your story for that time frame.
I mean, they did a really good job.
They were effective. They were effective.
I think there was red was the morning after the heist, and white is the heist. Mm-hmm. And so like those are really the only two that you kind of get that are super closely linked.
Right.
Here's my thought on it though, is we're talking about, oh, this is great, like revolutionary in the space, or like could be revolutionary in the space. What makes this different from Mass Effect 2 that had the ending could be, it was a choose your own adventure game. It was like kind of, or there was a heist type thing. There was a lot of character development. Like how is it just because this is a streaming platform and that's what makes it so different as opposed to all the experiences that we get with these same things with any RPG, anything? Like maybe it's special to the people who aren't gamers, who have never experienced anything like that before, or what's the...
I don't know. I've not played that game, so I'm not sure.
Okay, how about another one?
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, Kate, and I think
how,
that
is it different only because of the medium that it is?
I think so.
Probably.
Legit. And I think this is the same thing. Like Last of Us right now is super hot. We're 3 episodes into that show on HBO Max. And like everybody is looking at all the nerds, all the gamers, right? Are like, we tried to tell everybody how great these stories were and what they weren't just, you know, if Donkey Kong and Super Mario Bros is all you know about, you know, video games, you missed it. Because it is a very intentional and a very engaging storytelling medium. And so like I think that taking those concepts into another medium kind of helps to accentuate what it is. Now video games didn't make choose your own adventure stuff. That I mean
no,
books
but
and
like
storytelling
I mean
did
it's
that.
kind of like Saint Bear here in the chat is saying like any open world game, Breath of the Wild, really you can go and do anything you want to do in any order. So I think gamers have probably been doing it longer because of open world type games. He also mentioned Station 11. Like
Station 11 did do that, but again, I think it's the expectation. Okay,
Yeah.
like if you tell me that things are going to be jumbled, I'm ready.
Yep.
But if you tell me we're going to move forward, then honestly, like I have a hard time. I have a really hard time going,
What's going on
where
here?
are we in the storyline?
What's going on here?
And so, like seriously, some shows, and I think Station 11 is like this, you have to pay attention to things like what's the color grading like? You know, what's the temperature of the film grain and all
cooler
sorts of stuff.
room?
It's like that's the only way that you know where you are in the storyline, and your brain's like, I thought that person
Was dead.
was gone. Yeah, like I thought they weren't around anymore. But it's like, nope, they're back. They're the main character.
maybe it's too like the way the content is kind of digested. Like watching a non-linear streaming experience is a little bit more passive than engaging in a 80-hour long RPG
100%.
type thing where you're choosing your own thing. So like people like
100%.
us who are used to doing that and enjoy doing that might not be as blown away. I mean, we are blown away by what Scope is and what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
But we're blown away because it's familiar to us and seeing it in a different space is like, ooh, this is interesting. Like, how will this play out? Let's see. Whereas,
That's a good
you know,
point.
if you don't have that background, I bet you if you look at the reviews of this show and anybody who's giving a bad review, I bet there's a lot of people who are nerds who are like, this is not new or exciting to me because I've experienced it for 10,000 hours.
Yes. So I
Probably
mean,
true.
I was thinking like a normal show, and you know, Saint Bear was saying that, you know, like Station 11 could not really, it wasn't written in a way to be watched out of order.
Yeah.
Like it is out of order, but it's specifically out
It's
of order. right?
purposely so you couldn't randomize it. And
Yeah,
enjoy
it doesn't fit right. And I mean, I would be interested to kind of test that theory, but I would assume that it is right, thinking and remembering what I know about Station 11. But that being said, what I really would like, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, if you're listening, all you guys.
They are.
Definitely.
Here's
Disney.
what I want. This is what I want. You're gonna do that stuff. You're gonna tell your linear story. You're gonna jump around from story to story. I want playlists where I can follow stories. Hey, you want to follow this character's story? Boom, here it is. These are the episodes that you want to watch and watch them in order. Okay, and I mean, maybe it's like you can only, dude, here's the video game side of this. You can only do that. Like it's like New Game Plus. After you've finished the series, then you can go back and unlock the playlist.
Do you get a badge or like a
Dude,
trophy?
you tell me
How about-
right now that wouldn't up sales in like subscription services.
Here's what would up sales for HBO subscriptions is if you're like, hey, let's watch Game of Thrones, but only Tyrion Lannister. It would be just like the compilation videos that I love to watch that have millions of views.
Yes,
Best of Tyrion Lannister.
absolutely.
It would be exactly like that, but HBO could be profiting on my views. They're not
Yeah,
right
man.
now.
I don't know. I'm just saying,
Hey,
like, hey,
Matthew.
I don't know if they like money or not, but if they do,
No.
We just want new teeth. Okay, that's all we were asking for.
Just-
new teeth.
a new
Ugh.
set of
New
wooden
teeth,
teeth, it would be good. I want, but hey, Matt, I think if you got
Yep.
wooden teeth, they'd be vinyl now. Okay, they'd be like
Ooh.
like wood flooring. It's not really wood flooring. It's
Okay. Would
Yeah.
Kate's dad still sign them or?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Yeah, I'm in then.
well, hey,
Probably.
we're going to take a short break. Kaleidoscope it's interesting. We didn't mention this before. It's a mature show. There are a lot of mature themes in the show. There's
Yeah,
like
there
some
are.
language and some trigger warning stuff and all sorts of things. So proceed with caution. But we want to talk about things that you guys are experiencing as well. And so we know that people are watching Kaleidoscope. And so we want to talk about it. And we watched it and actually pretty great. We're not like signing off on all the content, but like as far as the show is built and all that good stuff, it is, I think, is a step in the right direction for content in general. So let us know what you think by following us and, hitting us up on Twitter and Instagram at Free Play Podcast. We'd love to hear about it and talk about it. And also heading over to Discord, lovethynerd.com/Discord or !Discord if you're here in the chat on twitch.tv/lovethynerd. Let us know what you think. We'd love to talk with you more about it.